Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to part 2 of my snarky and scary color along. So we've started a picture in part 1. Now before we actually get started with the picture and to tell you what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing 2 warnings here. First of all is my little disclaimer. I am coloring with a visual impairment, so as always I have to get close to my work to see what I am doing. So you are probably going to see my head for a good deal of the video, so I do apologize for that. But I try to make sure that you can actually see what I'm coloring. And also the second warning is that we are coloring out of a swear word coloring book for this session. So if you are bothered or offended by any kind of bad language or anything, this is not the video to watch. So I'm putting a mild mature content warning on this one. So we are going to be coloring out of this book here. This is what we started with our picture. And then here is the picture that we have started. And there goes my pencils. So this is what we got done in the first part of our coloring. We have the one where it says piss off. So it's not too bad of a word. You know, I said that I was doing this one in honor of Gordon Ramsay because he's got his show on called MasterChef, and I really like that show, and he tends to say piss off quite a bit. So we're going to color some piss off, which there are definitely some worse ones in here. So this one is pretty tame compared to what some of the others are. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit so we can actually get started on the coloring. And okay. Okay, that should do it right there. Okay. That should do it right there. So we got started, and this is what we got done. So what we need to do is that we need to keep working on these leaves. So I'm gonna just sort of flip the book just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing with the with this leaf right here. And so I started doing the greens, which we're gonna keep doing our greens to do the leaf. Okay. So in part 1, I was just, and the bad part too about this is sometimes the picture goes right into the spine. And so anyway, what I started talking about in part 1 was books I was reading. I was doing a lot of talking about Stephen King, who is a master at what he does. I also like authors like Dean Koontz. Probably my favorite book by him is called Watchers, which is about a guy who finds this genetically altered golden retriever. What I mean by genetically altered is that he was created in a science lab, and so he had heightened intelligence and could actually communicate, not in spoken words because dogs can't really talk, but you know, he could actually communicate with Travis and Nora using Scrabble tiles and then later on a computer. So I thought it was such a good book, and of course I am a sucker for golden retrievers anyway, and I think Dean Koontz, his favorite kind of dog I think are golden retrievers, is a golden retriever. I've noticed that in a lot of his stories he's got you know, somebody in the book has a golden retriever. And yeah. So I am hoping, you know, speaking of golden retrievers, I am hoping that my next leader dog is going to be a golden retriever. I've had 2 goldens. Caleb is the second golden I have had. I had another golden named Abby. I got her before I got Caleb. And actually, for about 1.5 years, we had Abby and Caleb at the same time because Abby retired and then I went back and I trained with Caleb. So we had Abby and Caleb at the same time, and then of course Abby passed on. She got, believe it or not, she got lung cancer of all things. But she got lung cancer of all things, and so she passed away in 2010 from that. Now I'm not gonna mess up this leaf because if you watched my part 1, I kind of made a little oopsie, and I was trying to get like this dark green color on the outer edge, and I put it in the wrong place, so I had to kind of fix things up just a little bit. So we're gonna try to get this onto our outer edge. Well, we are getting it onto our outer edge this time. And then we'll add some of the medium color in it, and then we'll start to blend things out just a tad. And what's bad about this is sometimes these pictures go right into that spine, which kind of drives me a little bonkers. It really does, because I hate when the picture goes into the spine, because then you got to maneuver the book, and sometimes you can damage your book if you're not careful. So weather-wise here, it's been actually yesterday and the day before really wasn't too bad. It was actually quite nice. It was real good weather for taking the dogs on the 2.5-miler walks that we do on the weekends. But today is a little rough, so now over the weekend, the whole weekend, like if we don't have to turn the air on, we won't, you know, the air conditioner, we won't, because, you know, a lot of times, like we just, you know, we like some fresh air in the house. So we just will, if we don't need the air on, then we'll turn it off if we can. So we had it off all weekend. And then now this morning we turned it back on because we knew that today was going to be a little rough. The husband says, "Oh, I'm sure you'll probably want the air on this morning." I said, "Yeah, I guess it would be nice," because I knew it was going to get rather uncomfortable in here. So I am back with my good old AC. And we always joke about air conditioning the dogs too. But like, but I kind of have to laugh a little bit because now the place that I go and get my dogs, you know, my dog guides is Leader Dogs for the Blind, which is in Rochester, Michigan. I know I've mentioned them to you before, but they have built what's called a canine development center, and they were doing quite a bit of campaigning for that a couple of years ago and last year and stuff, because they were raising money for that. Now they have a substantial endowment fund, and an endowment fund is where pretty much like only the interest, like they set up a fund so that, you know, they have like a running, like an ongoing fund, and then it's the principal stays in the endowment fund, but it's just the interest that gets used for the, you know, for the projects or whatever. So what they were doing was they you know, they were campaigning, you know, because they needed donations to you know, to do this canine center. You know, it's because they're a nonprofit organization, you know, and so they, you know, they needed some money to be able to do this canine center. So they got it cost them quite a bit of money, but they were able to do it debt free, you know, because they paid cash up front for it, from what I heard. So they did it debt free, which is very, very smart. So, you know, they don't owe the banks or anything any money. It's all paid for, free, you know, it's all paid for, cleared. And so it's you know, they don't have to worry about owing money to anybody, you know, which is a smart thing. But let me tell you, it's like the Waldorf or the Ritz-Carlton for dogs. Now see, I think that leaf looks a lot better than this one right there. I think that one looks quite a bit better. But yeah, it's kind of like the Ritz-Carlton or the Waldorf for dogs. Because let me tell you, the dogs never had it so good, and sometimes people never have it so good either, you know, because what they do is, like, if you go in there, they have what's called suites, and the kennels or cages or whatever that they have the dogs in, they're pretty large, and it's good for 2 dogs. You know, that way they're not going to get lonely. And then they pipe in classical music so that you know, it kind of gives a relaxed vibe. So I was real surprised about that, because, you know, classical music for the dogs, you know, what the heck. So Now what we need to do is, because we have quite a bit of green up top, we're going to take some green and we're going to put it on the bottom. We have some more things down here that we can use for green. So we're going to take, what can I color this green here? I think we're going to take and color this part here. I think we're going to put green on this big part right there. So yeah, I mean, they pipe in this classical music for the dogs, you know, so that they can give a relaxed vibe. You know, supposedly and I guess the way that they got it set up now is it helps with kennel stress, you know, so the dogs don't get kennel stress. Because, you know, this is where the dogs stay while they're in training, you know, they have their kennels and stuff. But they do have volunteers that come in and socialize with them and play with them and brush them and, you know, kind of help with that, so that they got other contact besides just going out for training, you know, with their trainers. So, you know, they take care of them real well, you know, they really do. So the way they got it set up now is it seems to really help reduce kennel stress, because you don't get, you know, they don't get as much human contact as probably what most very friendly dogs would like. So yeah, because they're trying to just make things as successful as they can, you know, for the you know, so that the clients that they serve, you know, have good working dogs for years and years to come. And it's really not that inexpensive to put a team on the streets. What I mean by putting a team on the streets is, you know, going through all the training, you know, to train the dogs, and then to train the clients when they come to stay. It's actually quite expensive. You got, you know, not only do you got your administrative stuff you got to do, but you've also got what it costs to house the dogs, what it costs to house the individuals, you know, for the room and board. You know, you got vet care, you got your veterinarians you got to pay, you got your trainers you got to pay. So it's really not all that cheap to, you know, to get a team ready to go, you know, to be a working team. And actually what's nice is it doesn't cost us, the clients, anything. So leader dogs, you know, they survive on donations, like from private individuals, from bequests, you know, from Lions clubs. And that's how it works. So we get we don't have to, you know, pay anything for the services, which is nice. And honestly, you know, they go above and beyond. They go above and beyond to try to help you. So, you know, we're really lucky that they got places like that out there to, you know, to help folks that need it. And so I will be going back for dog number 4 because, like I said, I've had leader dogs since 1992 when I got my first one. His name was Charlie. And so Charlie was an Australian Blue Heeler. And then Caleb and Abby, of course, were Goldens. So Charlie was quite unique. And what happened to Charlie, it was real tragic what happened to Charlie. And it happened just so suddenly. But he was probably about 8 years old, I think, when this happened to him. But he was perfectly fine. We'd gone to our Lions convention. He was perfectly fine, or he seemed to be, you know. You know, maybe he was feeling sick, but we just don't know. Dogs can't really tell you, and they don't act sick until they're really sick a lot of the times. So anyway, Monday, you know, we got home on Sunday, but then Monday he started acting, you know, just real weak and sluggish, and by the time late afternoon rolled around, you know, we knew that something wasn't right with him. So we took him to the vet, and they took some blood, and they spun up his blood, and his red blood cell count was very, 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 very low. And he got something called autoimmune hemolytic anemia, which basically means that your body rejects your red blood cells, and your red blood cells is what carries your oxygen to your cells, right? So his body was eating up all of his red blood cells. So it was a pretty, it's a very, very, very serious disease thing, that they get. He'd never had really any signs of anything like that before. It just happened. And so our vet, who's a friend of ours from the Lions Club, he said, well, you're gonna have to bring him in like every day so we can, spin up his blood and see how he's doing. And if he gets through this, it's gonna be a long time, that it would take him to go into remission. Well, now this happened on a Monday. We took him in Monday morning, and Tuesday it seemed to be a little better, but then Wednesday night his breathing started to get really labored, and he was real weak to begin with, but his breathing started to get really labored, and he wasn't doing very well at all. So we took him back in, and the vet says, well, we could transfuse him here, but basically what he explained was that you can do, because he brought his dog in that they use for blood transfusions. All the dogs he's had, they do that they do that with them. So anyway, he said that they could, transfuse him, give him a blood transfusion there, but you can do that with any dog one time. Like you can, even if it's not like a matching blood type, like you can transfuse from any dog once. But if it worked, it would be just a very, very short duration. And then he also gave us the choice of taking him to one of the teaching hospitals, to get a type-specific blood transfusion, and which, we thought that would be the better thing to do, because, that would be better for him in the long run, for the long-term long run. Well, we had a pickup truck at the time, so we got in the truck and we were off and going. Well, we got about 20 miles down the road, and he died. So he died on the way to trying to get this blood transfusion for him. So there was nothing that we could do after that, So what happened to Charlie was just real tragic, real sad. And it still breaks my heart thinking about it, even though it happened like in, gosh, when did this happen? Like 1999, So, I mean, it happened a long time ago, but boy, it's still just very, very heart-wrenching, just still really, really gut-wrenching. It really is. And, boy, So, that was horrible. That was a very, very horrible experience. And like I said, Abby, she got lung cancer. I don't mean to laugh at that, it's not funny, but it's just crazy just what, dogs can get these diseases that people get. It's just crazy that way. And actually, I had a couple people kind of joke, and I don't know, in a way it was kind of tacky, I guess, but, they're like, oh, I guess she was a closet smoker, or she should have given up those cigarettes, because you associate lung cancer with smokers, right? But my grandmother got lung cancer, but she didn't smoke. I mean, I think she smoked maybe just a little tiny bit when she was a little bit younger, but nothing. But she quit. She ended up quitting. She didn't smoke very long. But But yeah, she got lung cancer and she wasn't a smoker. So you just never know. You just never know. Alright, what do you guys think of that? I think I'm going to take the blender pencil and see if I can blend that out just a little bit more. Let's see. Just to blend it out just a little bit more. Because I want some more of that darker color in here with the lighter stuff. A little bit more smoothly. And I'm kind of burnishing this in a little bit. But I do want this to blend in. I'm sorry, I got to get a little bit close so I can see. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to take the lighter one and just kind of move that up a little bit more. Move up that darker color. Blend it out. And then other dogs, let's see, well, you know, those are my leader dogs. But we've had, you know, plenty of pet dogs as well. We had a beagle named Lady. And she's no longer with us. She ended up getting congestive heart failure and had to be put down some years back. And then we had Shadow, who we adopted from my grandmother. She's no longer with us because she got, you know, she was old. I mean, you know, Lady was old too. You know, they get old and old and sick. And but Shadow, she got, her name was Shadow, and she got old and she got to the point where she couldn't walk very well, and she was losing control of her body. So, and also she could hardly walk anymore, so we had to do the deed for her. Then my husband had you know, before we even met, he had a beagle. His name was Buddy, and I didn't know Buddy because Buddy had passed on before we met. But Buddy, I guess, had epilepsy, and he had to take like a phenobarbital, which can really tear up your liver. So Buddy had liver problems, and he also had problems where he would bust like blood vessels in his ears. But what got him at the end, of course, was the liver issues, because the seizure meds tore up his liver. Poor little guy. Poor little Buddy. We could do some orange, like right here in this little squiggly thing. So we'll go in with a real light orange. And I'm just going to make sure that I am in frame for this. Okay, here we go. Okay, I might have to move. Okay, try that. Okay, all right, so I'll be in frame for that. So that's our dog stories. So I hope everybody is having a good week so far. Today is Monday, so it's the kickoff of the week, and it's our Color Along Kickoff. Anne's Color Along from Colorful Life. Hers is also going to be starting up. Hers is starting tomorrow. And for hers, you can do anything from Dover, Creative Haven, any books from those. And I still need to do Grace's challenge. Grace, I haven't forgot about you. I still need to do your color magazine challenge. I promise I will be doing that. My goodness, I'm going to end up making a lot of coloring videos. I kid you not. But I still got to do Grace's challenge. I'm going to color something on camera for Anne's color along, maybe 2 somethings on camera for Anne's color along, since hers is going to last the whole month. I'll probably do some off camera. I don't need to color everything on camera. You know, just do some stuff on my own and then show it like on the Facebook groups and on Instagram and stuff. I can do that. That won't be a big deal. Okay, and then I'm going to take, this is a slightly darker orange here, and I'm going to take it and trying to get it so that you're not going to end up seeing my head. And I got out of the lines just a tad. Made like a little oopsie. Alright. So a lot of times the colored pencils will erase pretty well as long as you don't press it down too hard. You don't press it down too hard, you can get it to erase pretty good if you need to. Yep. So I got to decide for sure what I'm going to do for Anne's color along, because I have a lot of the Dover Creative Haven books. I'll probably end up doing something in some of my stained glass stuff, because I really enjoy coloring in those, in the stained glass ones. I think I'll definitely be doing something for that. And then I have others, like I got a lot of fashion books. One book I thought about getting, and it's a Creative Haven one, but it's classic cars. And all right, you know, the cars really aren't my thing, but my husband likes classic cars. I mean, not that he would color in any of them, but I thought about getting the book and showing him the pictures and say, all right, you know, what color do I need to color this one? You know, because he'd be able to look at the pictures and he'd be able to tell like what year and what model it is and stuff, you know. I mean, he's pretty good that way. So I thought about like getting the book and just showing him the like a picture or two and say, all right, how should I color this one? What color you want me to color this one? And then, because I could color, you know, because those pictures are perforated, so I could, you know, I could color a couple of those and you know, give it to, frame it and give it to him as a gift if I do it up nicely, if I don't screw it up. But you know, he appreciates handmade things like that. You know, because it's a handmade, something that you know, somebody you care about did for you. So yeah. So I might do that. Okay. So then I think I'm going to take the orange and I'm going to color. Oops, my paintbrushes are getting in the way. I'm going to color. I think I'll color around this blue with this orange, with the oranges up here, just to kind of, you know, have some orange on the top and in the bottom. Actually, I think I'm going to put down the darker one first, and then I'll come back in with the lighter one and blend it out and shade it. Sometimes I'll put down the lighter color first, and then I'll go back over it with the dark one. But I think I'm going to do the dark one first. And actually, I could have gotten some red and done it, because I think these oranges are a little bit similar. But we're going to try it and see how it's going to work. It could look very pretty. So that's what we're gonna do with this, and I colored in that blue. Ay. How did I know I was gonna do that? Alright, there we go. Ugh. I hate it when I do that. Alright, now I gotta try to, now I gotta get that blue and color that blue back in. Now I made a splotch. hope it's this one. Okay. I hope it was this one. All right. Okay, there we go. Fixed. Fixed, I think. There. I hate it when that happens, like when you need to erase a mistake and then you erase like part of the other color. I hate that. But sometimes you do what you got to do, eh? Just have to be a little bit more careful around those lines. Yeah. Okay. Now I got to get kind of close so that I can see in this little part here, because I got to get down in there. And I'm sorry I'm not talking well. I'm trying to get down in there, but I'm trying to concentrate and not screw up these little, that little area there. And then I think I'm going to take it and go onto the edge here, blend it out with the lighter color, with the lighter one. Okay. All right, now and just make sure that I'm in frame with it. Okay. So now I'm going to take the lighter color and I'll just kind of go in and blend it into the darker one here. Yep. And I think that'll work out just fine. Ooh. It was either the mail or somebody dropped something. Actually, since I put the darker color on this other end, I'm going to do the same here. Then we'll blend it out. Okay. There we go. So, like I did in part one, I'm using polychromos to color in this picture. So, we're doing polychromos. Maybe I'll try Prismacolors in this book to see how it acts with this paper. This paper isn't the best quality in this book. It's really not. Okay. So I can't wait to see what everybody has for their snarky pictures, and of course the scary ones too, because there's going to be a lot of you that are going to be coloring in scary stuff. But you know, those of you that choose snarky, I can't wait to see what you guys do with snarky. I really can't wait to see that. That is going to be a lot of fun. And Hatfield, oh my gosh, girl. She loves coloring in horror stuff. Like she really likes horror. And I think she also likes scary movies, but she loves coloring in the horror pictures. Like, you know, where it shows like all of the gore and the blood and, you know, oh. Like, I don't think I would do well on a picture like that. I mean, I might try, but I really don't have like any like horror books. I think the scary one I have, and it's cute too. It's you know, Spooky Sweets, and then I think I have a Day of the Dead book. But I don't have like any like actual like horror stuff. Now there was a limited edition Jade Summer that was a Chibi Girls horror one. And by the time I heard about that book, this is before I had discovered Jade Summer, but by the time I'd heard about that book, it was already gone because it was a limited edition. Maybe she'll re-release that at some point. Maybe it was around like Halloween last year or something that she had that. I want to say perhaps. But maybe hopefully she'll release something like that again. Maybe a second edition or something like that. Now a lot of her stuff, I know that if you get the hard copy book, you can get the PDF version too. So you can download it and print out pictures from that if you want to put it on cardstock or something. Which makes it really nice. It makes it very, very nice to do that, because the paper in those books isn't the greatest. It's pretty thin and pretty not so great. Alright, so there's our orange right there. You know, I'm kind of digging that. I really am. I'm kind of digging it. What do you think, you guys? You digging it? You digging it with me? You digging it? Yeah. Alright. Okay, more colors. More colors. Maybe we should do some red. Maybe we should do like some real deep red or something, you know. Maybe I'll get this. And we can do pink, and then it kind of goes into a red color. And I think I gotta sharpen some pencils, so I'm gonna sharpen and then I will be right back. Okay guys, we're back. So let's go ahead and start doing this. Oh my goodness, I flopped the book down. Let's go ahead and start doing this area here. Hopefully get into frame. Let's do this area right there, this big space. We're gonna lay down some dark here under on this part here, and then we'll shade it up into the lighter. We'll do that, which I think would look pretty good. But not getting out of the line like that. Okay. So we're gonna put down the darker red right here. And then we'll shade up, then we'll bring more of the pink into it, and then we'll blend it and shade it. And then I'm gonna lighten up my hand pressure right there. Yep, like so. All right, so now we're gonna bring our pink into it. And then we'll get it to blend. All right, but look at how it kind of looks up here. It's almost kind of got like a part of it's got like kind of a little tie-dyed look, doesn't it? Yeah. I might take this red up a little bit farther. A little bit farther like that into it, and that way, you know, we know we got some shaded area into it here. So oops, a little bit more control over it here. Yep. Move some up this way. All right. See how it's going to do. here we go with the pink into it, and we'll blend it out real well. I just like to play with color on a lot of these things, I really do, just to kind of see how it's going to look, you know. Kind of did sort of a clunky job on that. We can smooth it out a little bit. There. Alright. And then we can even shade a little bit with just one pencil by varying the hand pressure. Okay. Alright, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. And I can even take the blender pencil and work with it a little bit more. Let's try to smooth it out a little bit though. Okay. I still don't like that harsh line right there. There. Okay. We're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it. We're doing good with it. What do you guys think? Okay. I'm gonna get my blender pencil and go over it just a little bit with it. So, I'm trying to concentrate just a little bit, guys, so I apologize for the lack of chatting for just a minute here. Yep. Alright. So, alright, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good, like that. That's pretty good, guys. Now another thing I can do is we can take some of this pink and red and put it up into this half here, just to kind of keep things a little bit equal. So I'm going to flip the book just a little bit, and because I think what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do, I think I'll do that little piece right there in the pink and the red right there. That little piece right there. Can you guys see that, hopefully? Okay. So I'm gonna try doing the lighter color first, and then we'll come back in with the darker. Sometimes, most of the time, I'll add the lighter color. Like I'll do the lighter color first, and then I'll come in with the darker. The last one I did, I put down the darker first, and then came in with the lighter, and then blended it that way. But it seems like for me it works a little bit better if I add the lighter first, and then go back in with the darker. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the darker, and I'm going to just put it right here into the smaller area here. Now I should have probably been calling out each color as I was using it, but sometimes I forget to. And then I have to get like something to kind of help me read the pencil, because the colors on here are really tiny to read. And so then I have to get like my magnifying glass or there's an app on my phone that I use to to blow up the print. So then I have to go and get it. And I didn't bring that in here with me to the kitchen where I'm coloring. So I'm probably not going to finish this picture in 2 parts. Probably end up having to do 3 parts to it. Finish it with you guys. But that's okay. That's okay. And we are definitely going to be stickling it. I'm going to stickle it when I get to the end of it. Just because I like me some glitter. I don't think I'm as much of a glitter fanatic as some people are, but I do like me some glitter. I do like me some glitter, so we're gonna use some glitter on it. And I just don't like that I'm getting out of my lines today. I seem to be doing that a lot today. So we have to fix that. But I think I'm really liking how this is coming out. I think I am. So alright guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this part off here. We'll come back in a part 3 and we should be able to finish this up. We should be able to finish this up in part 3. And then we'll be done with it, but we are over half done. I'd say about 3/4 of the way there. So here is what we have so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and leave a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up, hit that like button, leave a comment and tell me what you think. Subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this, but better yet, hit that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. You all have a great day, and we will see you in the next video. All right, bye guys.